Hey everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is dedicated to One Piece, Chapter 810, The Curly Hat Pirates Arrive. And the cover page this time, the wanted posters being spread around the world, we have the Baratier group seeing Sanji's new poster, which apparently ticks off the guy who made a ship modeled with Sanji's old wanted poster face. Like I think
Well, they all knew he didn't look like that, so.
right, it was like a big joke to them, but like now the joke is ruined because the posters are accurate now.
Yeah. But I'm sure Duvall would be pretty happy about the change.
Not really, he doesn't look like that anymore either. Remember
I think that's Sanji again.
Oh, yeah, but if you remember, Sanji kicked him pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the chapter proper starts, we are on a big old profile of Jack himself. He's got the nice little braids, some horn action going on there. We got his soldiers underneath him, and we see the confirmation of the bounty: 1 billion berries. Also, I like how Oda's been doing this thing where we see the names in English too now. So I like that. And as
great for localization.
Yep. And the cat viper is pretty much like pointing out that it's an ancient form of the zozo fruit, or the elephant fruit in this case. And he points out that it's actually pretty rare. Jack decides he's going to take this seriously and actually pulls out some weird looking swords. Like it's all bent. It almost looks like a bladed nunchuck. The cat viper's like, you should have left back when the mutt took the courtesy of showing you the exit. We got enough warriors here to rival any of your big nations. And Beppo is there too with the Law's crew, and it's like he gives Beppo a way out, so he doesn't have to fight if he doesn't want to. But Beppo's not having that. He's gonna fight and defend his homeland. And the rest of it, I really like this one part here. It's a small thing, but the Law's crew is right there to stand by Beppo. Like they're gonna defend this crew too, because it's Beppo's homeland, and he's gonna defend it.
Loyal crew there, man.
Yep. Crew. And it seems the cat viper's impressed also.
Yeah. So basically, they fight for 5 days.
Yeah, like we get a little montage of panels here of the action and like I said, like for 5 days, like Jack, the Kaido pirates fought without rest, while the Minks kind of went in and out of shift day and night. The CC line finally falls asleep there. It looks like. Actually, another thing that comes
Jack
up here.
Was not.
Yeah, like Jack kept bringing in reinforcements, and they were not able to really stop the advance because there were so many of them. In fact, an interesting line here by Wanda is that our enemies may as well have been an endless army of zombies. Does that sound familiar to you? Who else do we know? Right, do you know Gecko Moria's story? Because I think you said you skimmed Muscular Bark.
Kaido. Oh yeah, Kaido, because he destroyed his army. I mean, his crew.
Yeah, I almost wondered if Moria had the same dot, and that's what gave him the idea. But anyway, like I said, they were even getting at the upper hand on this battle regardless, and the only one they couldn't actually beat was Jack himself. It was a stalemate between him and the two dukes. It's like, and the guy that powerful is like just Kaido's like errand boy basically, which is odd to them. Of course, right around that point on the 5th day, that's when they brought out the poison gas weapon. Like it was all over at that point because, like I said, it spread across the entire town, and most of the force were completely engulfed and trapped everyone who wasn't like far away deep into the fortress, like all the people who took in refuge. And then that's when we start seeing like all the people are being crucified, tortured, and questioned, just kind of like what we saw hints of when the crew first entered the place.
Yeah, and then they keep saying like, dude, we don't have him, and actually Kite Viper's like, no, I'm gonna curse you, basically.
Yeah, the cat viper's like, yeah, you kill me, I'm haunting you.
Yeah, which that's interesting because I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he basically continues chopping everything off, and chopping a lot of things off. And so it turns out that on the 6th day they left because that was the same day that Doflamingo was defeated.
Right. So Jack left the island
to go get Doflamingo.
Right. So Dogstorm considers, like, even if it wasn't intentional, like Dogstorm considers the act of the Straw Hats as their savior. Like the Straw Hats, even if they didn't mean to, saved them that day. And Wanda considers this just an addition to the miracle they already had when the Curly Hat pirates arrived, because as Chopper points out, they got there like the day right after, and they apparently got up Zoe by forcing Caesar to be their gas balloon.
So yeah, and then they this I think this is where they split, right? Yeah, they split. They split up, and then eventually comes in um, Mink, who is being chased by one of the few remaining members of the Kaido group.
Yep, and and if you remember
And
back, if you remember back to the chapter when we kind of checked in on these guys, we saw this one hiding behind a tree earlier. Remember, that's the
yeah,
squirrel girl. That's the nurse now.
So basically, he attacks. Yeah. So they Brook attacks the one
I like this part,
guy, the
like
pirate guy.
like Brooke, take care of this. Got it. And he just does
They're
it.
powerful. They're very strong now. They can take
Yeah.
on. They can take on at least the main minions of
Yeah.
Kaido's group.
And I also like the fact that the squirrel gets Tristan. She gets freaked out by not just Brooke, but also Momonosuke talking. Like both of them. Like the pile of bones and the eel just talked. Okay, that's freaky. I'm getting out of here. And actually, one place I saw, I forget if it was where it was, but pointed out that that's actually a interesting detail, just because on Zoe only the mammals can speak. So seeing the little dragon there talking, was probably like a weird thing to them.
It was also interesting because they were also surprised that she spoke as well when
Yeah,
she came in.
yeah,
But so yeah, they the other group that has split up has seen the devastation that Jack has caused and all the gas, and they're like they think, oh, what are these, what's this gas? And he's like, oh, all the animals, and then Caesar's like, these are all mates, you idiots, And he's like, well, let's just head back to the forest, or the gas will get us too. I find it interesting that was it Caesar who said that?
Oh, wait, real
Like,
quick, real
Caesar
quick.
shouldn't he be immune?
He should be fine. I just noticed something though. Was like, Topper's like, "Whoa, that animal just talked," and Sanji and Caesar are both like, "This one did too," presumably talking about him. And it's like Caesar notes that they're still breathing, and one of them there is Pedro, who we actually saw a glimpse of at the start of this arc. He's like, he begs them to save Dog Storm and the Cat Viper, like treat their wounds or they're going to perish. And then we see like the picture of them like still crucified. Dog Storm's lost one of his legs, and the Cat Viper's lost looks like at least one arm. I don't know if it's both a hand and another limb, but at the very least like one arm has been lost.
I think it's just the arm because that's what's being pictured.
Yeah, and then we close up on the stumps right afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's all on the bottom is the.
Yeah, and
That's
and the chapter ends with Pedro pretty much saying the world is waiting on them. Those two of all people must not be allowed to die. And the way he says that,
I'm assuming that's.
no. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just like, I'm assuming that maybe the life is like what maintains the Zoe like area, the everything basically, like because remember they had this whole ruling thing, right? So
And there's also the fact that their cycles are actually the whole day and night cycle. They have to affect their subjects too. Like when the Dog Storm falls asleep, his people start to fall asleep too.
Yeah, I'm thinking something. I'm thinking like maybe if they die, then maybe the Zoes get affected in a negative way. Maybe they all die. Maybe they get injured, or maybe they lose a part of themselves, or whatever.
I don't know. It's like,
but we don't. Yeah.
Depending on how it gets translated officially, it might be a bit different because there's that one panel where it says the world is waiting on them, which actually makes me wonder just how long are these guys been alive? Like, how old are they? Are they like extremely long lived, or is there something else going on? Let's see here.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely a very strange thing in that case.
It seems that Kaido is of all of them is the most vicious. Is probably one of the most vicious of the emperors. I mean, I know Blackbeard's pretty vicious, but I mean,
well, mindlessly vicious might be the way to put it.
I think, but Blackbeard. The thing about Blackbeard is, his is just vicious, and he'll do anything to get it. But it's more, but you can see where he's coming from, and you know, and if anything, he's still a D in some way, in the sense that he still believes in dreams and all that shit.
Yeah.
But remember, and his crew did not. And Doflamingo is in a way an extension of Kaido.
Yeah.
Kaido seems to be very pessimistic, or at least the air I'm getting from it is.
We can also treat Jack as an indicator of what Kaido is like too, since Jack is one of his crew.
Yeah, especially if he's allowing.
If Jack is one of his his top 3 guys.
Yeah, is Jack the first mate, or is?
Well, we just know that he's like one of the top 3.
One of them, or
they didn't really.
Right-hand man.
At least someone very close. I don't know. I forget the exact wording used in that case, but it wasn't quite right hand man.
Okay, because I feel like I read the words right hand.
And if it was manga stream, like I said, we take that with a grain of salt. So.
First mate.
Yeah.
And of course, if it is first mate, they probably would have pointed it out. One Piece is anything is very big on the introductions. But Jack was defeated. He's not invincible. He was defeated by the Admiral Fujitora and former Fleet Admiral Sengoku. So yeah.
Yeah, and also Tsuru, she was there too.
Yeah, Tsuru. She's probably more the tactical.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think she's pretty powerful. Even
she at least has a devil fruit. We know that.
Yeah, take away the evilness or something.
Well, part of that, but basically she literally hangs him out to dry, laundry style. Which of course goes to the woman.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Well, at least she's a tactical mind or whatever. But
yeah.
at least she's important in the Marines. Apparently not enough to become admiral, but I can just put the same with Dark.
Yeah, or maybe she just refused to. But we know at least she was enough to intimidate Doflamingo.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll say this: all three of them were able to take down Jack, so he's not invincible.
Oh, not by any means on there.
But what's interesting that but Kaido seems to be. That's this is an interesting thing here. Like, a lot of the members seem to have this invincible type of air to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, it fits with their prestige at this point, I think. Like the villain, here's actually kind of what we're talking about with the Bleach review, like the difference between like the villain looking strong versus the hero looking weak.
Yeah.
Because like right now, like Jack looked plenty strong, but it didn't make the Mink look weak at all. Because like we saw how tough they were too.
No, not at all. Yeah, exactly. They actually had to resort to a gas weapon, and they even point out while they couldn't stop Jack, they could still hold him off for 5 days.
Yeah, like
night straight, as well as his other crewmate.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jack.
One Piece did it right.
Meanwhile, Jack was badass enough to hang on for 5 days with little to no rest.
Yeah, and even that, he was still, even though he was powerful as well as having a 1 billion bounty, he still was not able to defeat the admiral, the vice admiral, and former fleet admiral. So he has limits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when we inevitably see him again, which I think
I'll say this,
I don't think any of us are doubting at this point, we should see that in action.
So I'm assuming that this will be the continuation of just the next after.
Like week after next, I think is what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
But so, I like to point out though is like, so if Jack is a 1 billion, I don't know if I said this last time, but in case I didn't, so Jack's 1 billion, but he's not even an emperor. So I'm assuming that the emperors all have higher than 1 billion, right?
I would say at least 2-digit billions, depending on just where we are here.
Are we just gonna skip billion? Are we still gonna treat millions as a strong increment? Because I mean, it could be like 1 billion.
Well, I would say so, just because.
500 million, you know.
Well, Luffy's at 500 million right now, so obviously.
Saying, like,
Go ahead.
I was saying you don't want to take away what the millions were. So even though we get to the billions, we still say that 1.1 billion is still a significant increase than 1 billion. You know what I'm saying? Rather than saying, okay, now we just go to 1 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to minimize what the increments are.
Right, and I don't really think we're doing that. This is a big jump, so that does make me worry a little bit. But at the same time, it's also double what Luffy is, and Luffy's earned his way to where he is right now. So.
Interestingly enough, Luffy's still not as high as Ace.
Yeah. What was Ace supposed to be like? 550?
550 million. He was the highest before Jack.
Well, he's right. He's still Luffy's like right behind though, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, but and then of course there's also Marco. So that's.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Do we know his bounty? Yeah. Well, yeah, he is definitely like close to Whitebeard.
Yeah, and he was higher. I think he's the first commander rather than which Ace was the second commander. So I'm assuming that's also telling. Oh. Yeah, it's also, actually one point.
Wait.
So
Wait. Sorry, I didn't. Wait.
Right?
Stop.
I mean, Kaido's literally like somewhere off, far away from these.
Hang on. You broke up. I didn't hear the very beginning of that.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm in delay because you were telling me to stop and I already stopped like 20 seconds ago.
Well, go ahead at least.
Okay. So we have the 4 emperors, and we know that there's such a huge crew. There's such a huge crew that we have Kaido literally far away while one of his people is like in Zoe. So I'm which is kind of like a lot like the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. And I'm thinking to myself, if besides the four emperors, would we say that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet is like the strongest fleet out there besides the four emperors fleet?
I would say probably Navy would come in somewhere in that above
No,
Luffy.
I mean pirates, just pirates.
In terms of pirates, I would say they're. It's hard to say because like Luffy's pirates' new fleet is only like so many ships or so many people, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's equal, but it definitely would be a contender at this point.
Isn't it like 5,000 people? But they're all strong. Like they're not just people. Like
Well, they don't have.
are actually really powerful. Like, we got Cavendish. We got
Yeah, Bartolomeo and them. You're right about that. It's hard to say. I don't. Like I said, I wouldn't call them like weak, but I would say they're still on the low end of fleet power.
okay. Because I like if Luffy beats one of the emperors, does he immediately become an emperor?
Well, I'm sure people start calling him that, but I don't know if that's actually how it works.
Oh,
Because
he'll never think
they,
about himself. I'm just saying like.
yeah, because like Blackbeard killed Whitebeard, but at the same time, like it, it's only after he started like taking over his territory, I actually started actively playing the part that he got declared an emperor.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So anyway, so that should be it for my One Piece. Anything
Yep.
else for you?
Nope, I think I'm good here. Like I said, the main things I brought up, we already kind of mentioned during the chapter, like the Heart Pirate standing behind Beppo, the couple little touches here and there. So I think we're good to go here. All right. So go ahead and take us away. That's been One Piece chapter 810. The Curly Hat Pirates arrive. Go ahead and take us away.